All right, let's continue now with more reaction. We now go to the ANC. We are joined by the ANC's national spokesperson, Mahlengi Bhengu-Motsiri, who joins us now via our telephone line. Mahlengi, good evening to you. Can we please get your reaction to the passing of the former finance minister?
I hope you can hear me. Can I establish?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, I'm struggling to hear you. Good evening, and so it's actually almost the morning when we get the news of the passing of one of our own, a son of South Africa and South Africans, and the people of Limpopo, Comrade Tito Mbowenis, the ANC saddened by his passing. We can say so much about what the legacy that he leaves behind for South Africa and for his organization, the African National Congress. And I think in the days to come, we'll have a moment to reflect to a great detail some of those legacy-making experiences of his, such as one of what he would be remembered for is having been one of the architects of South Africa's economic policy, having been the head of the economic policy department of the African National Congress in the early 90s, all the way to becoming the governor of the Reserve Bank, making him the first black person to occupy that position. And of course, we also can't forget about how he served South Africa as Minister of Labour, steering a labour environment that is stable, and also where all the social partners in the labour dispensation were able to come together, introduced a lot of policies, and this is supporting the legislative environment to make it possible for workers to access some of the rights that they have today, all the way to becoming the Minister of Finance. And I think that is a portfolio for which he was known for having steered a very fragile economy, but it steered it in a way that kept the stability going. And of course, I can say that organizationally he served the ANC at its highest level, where he had to resign all of those elected positions when they needed to take their position in the Reserve Bank. So we are truly saddened by his passing. And we are obviously going to gather our heads and our thoughts, and we also condole more especially with the family, the family, and also with his children.
And Mahlengi, one would ask, I mean, were you aware about, his illness, and were you able to see him over the past couple of days?
Oh, no, I'm not aware at this stage if any of our peers or our leaders were in contact with the family regarding his short illness. I'm certain that we will hear about this as the time progresses.
And as we remember, the former finance minister, one would also ask, I mean, what are your fondest memories of Tito Mbowenis?
If you could reiterate the question, please.
I was saying, what are your fondest memories of the former finance minister, Tito Mbowenis?
Well, one of the things that stands out for me, on a personal level as well as organizationally, was his ability to be critical and to exercise critical thinking in all of his conversations, whether it was about the direction of our economy or whether it was about the work of the ANC, and also whether it was about life in general. He was quite a multidimensional person. That is another thing that stood out for me, or somebody that really lived a lifestyle that and was driven very much by supporting wellness and himself paying particular attention to a well-rounded life. He wasn't just a politician. He wasn't just a board member of very prestigious institutions in the country and in the world. He was quite multidimensional. There was a whole lot more to him if you had a chance to interact with him and see how he lived his life.
And I mean, as we speak about him tonight, how would you want South Africans to remember his legacy?
Somebody that gave so much at a young age to the success that South Africa is known to be, with all our challenges. Surely he will be remembered as somebody that was quite upright in terms of how he respected the popular mandate for him to occupy the roles that he's occupied. We have never heard of any single instance, that certainly in my mind, where there were doubts about his credibility and how he utilized public resources, and he did that to the betterment of South Africans and carried his responsibilities with, I think, a very good reputation, leaves that behind. It forms part of the lasting legacy that he leaves behind.
And, talking about the former finance minister at the same time, a number of people also talk about his behavior or his relationship towards South Africans on social media. And one cannot ignore, the cooking lessons that,
Yes.
he would often share with the rest of South Africans.
Absolutely. And that was really part of many facets of his life. And really, as I was speaking about his wellness journey, that has always been there for those of us who had a chance to break bread with him. It's always been there, but upon retirement, he's had much more time to be able to really showcase his culinary skills as well. Such was a man, a very, very interesting individual who could hold a conversation on a variety of subjects, and somebody really, really who is highly accomplished. And it is a great loss. It's a loss for our organization as we see some of these seasoned leaders departing. And of course, this was totally unexpected. He's known to be quite fit. But what has happened, and what truly saddened is the organization.
All right, that is ANC National spokesperson Mahlengi Bhengu-Motsiri giving us a reaction there when it comes to the passing of the former finance minister Tito Mbowenis.